Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Monday, November 18th here about just before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you can see after we had the rains and the line of storms come through here last night, they've let the water out of the dam up there at Alum Creek a little bit, and so you can see how much wider our creek is. It's a lot higher and a lot faster, and you can see how it's sort of filled in what I call the backwash area. So we're actively trying to keep this thing down at Winter Pool. Now Paul and I have been sitting in watching this the launch of this Mars satellite, this Maven, and they launched it from Canaveral. I initially thought it was going up from Virginia, but they launched it from Canaveral. This is the first time I'd actually watched the whole commentary of one of these things where they actually were, take it out of Earth's orbit. I mean, they didn't put it in a parking orbit. They just shot this thing. It's gone. It's out of here. It's on its way. And that by the time it got over Australia, that's when they had achieved, I guess, I don't know. It's when it leaves Earth orbit. It's going fast enough. It's going to go. It's either going to go around the sun or it's going to keep going and not come back. So it was interesting to watch the numbers, as they fired the engines and so forth. Of course, you're basically watching a simulation, but I had never really watched it, seen the whole sequence through before. It was very interesting. So we watched that. Other than that, that's been pretty much it for today. I got a good night's sleep and did some reading, and there it is. We're still here. It beats the alternative, doesn't it? Well, most times it does anyway. Except for some of these poor souls with all these neurologic locked-in states and things. Well, on that note, I'm going to say, I'll show you some of the storm damage out front, and then you can take this as an implied bye-bye YouTubers when I get done showing you that. Alrighty. Well guys, this is going to be a bit windy, and despite the fact I've got my wind filter on, I dare say it's going to not be all that effective. I had exchanged an email with a fellow this morning, and I'd said that after this line of storms came through here last night, we didn't have much damage, and as near as I could tell at the time, it was dark, and I didn't go climbing out in the midst of all this. It didn't seem to be, but I came out this morning, and we had a limb lying on the front of the trailer. And in fact, I guess actually, come to think of it, now that I'm looking at it, we've got a bit of damage to the propane cover on the trailer. And you can see there's a tree stump here. One of the ash trees that had been killed by the bugs broke off, and it actually fell almost onto the trailer, but I came out and I moved it here this morning. And then if you go up, look up here, you see this tree, and this this ash tree down here is still alive. It's still very much alive, but it had a branch that went off to the side, and you can see it broke off, and you know, it's a pretty good sized one. So we had some more damage than I thought we had, and of course that particular little bit of detritus has been there since well, since last fall. Actually, since well, we had this derecho come through June 29th of last year, and then later on in August we had a fairly substantial windstorm come through that wasn't really associated with a storm, you know, any organized big-time storm system, but it knocked this one down. And then you can see this stuff here that's leaning on this tree. That came down out of this tree here yesterday as well. So yeah, we had a little bit of stuff down. We had a bunch of stuff down in the driveway this morning too, which I bestirred myself and, you know, threw it off to the side and so forth.